This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenro radio playlist. zenroclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Portian Bakery. If you're located in the Portian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Portian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone could podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. Let's just jump in F1. We'll call this one F1, and then we got some craziness going on. But what'd you saw it in IMAX? We saw it together in VIP, and then I saw it in IMAX, and then you saw it in IMAX.
Yeah.
What did you think of the IMAX experience? Better, or like were you like, I could have just done VIP, or like I could have just done like regular?
No, the sounds are much more better on IMAX.
Yeah, and was your IMAX screen big, or was it regular size? Yeah. Did you sit close?
Middle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I tried to like really feel it, so I wanted to be like second from the front, and then right in the center.
Oh, geez.
So like I bought the like, so it was like really filled. It's tough when it was like they're doing the dialogue screen because you're like looking back and forth, but then the racing scene, you're like, oh, let's go, bro. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. Did you feel the this is one thing I was thinking about, like, does it hold up compared to Maverick? Because I watched Maverick 3 or 4 times in the theater, and that thing was just
Maverick?
like adrenaline.
Wait, what was Maverick again?
Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The one he made before this one.
Yeah.
And like, I watched that one was like...
I watched that also both in, I think, normal and VIP and IMAX, I think.
Okay, so which did you like better? It's a tough call, right?
It's tough. It's the same guy that's making it, right? So,
but like, did you prefer the racing or did you prefer the jet plane?
Well, the jet plane, I'm never going to experience that, right? I mean, true with the racing, I've been surrounded by F1 for a while now, right? But
yeah, okay.
So it's like this is a bit more. I mean, watching it the second time, I was okay to let go of all that. You know, it's like realism and stuff like that. That's fine. It's a movie, and it was still good as a movie. But like I know the little things that you can't do that, right? But for a story, it's fine.
Right, totally. So, but in terms of like the visceral feeling, where it's like the car was like driving forward compared to the jet, which did you prefer?
I think the jet is still cool.
I know, same, bro. I left the movie and I was like, it's good, but I still like Maverick better. There's something about like the and then like the high and then the low,
sure,
like, you know, with the jet, whereas like this one's just straightforward, so you're like, that's cool, but like doing those barrel rolls and those like crazy drops in like,
but I think
like,
but there's more well, there was action, like like guns
in the
and stuff
Maverick one.
In Maverick, and then there's no, this is just racing, right? So
yeah, totally. That's funny you said that, because I was kind of just waiting for the next races. You know what I mean? Like, it felt a little like Maverick. I watched it like 4 times and I didn't get bored once. Every time I watched it, I was like, wow, I was like, the time just flew by, right? Whereas like this one, I was kind of like midway through, I was like, this is kind of long. You know, like let's just get to the good stuff, you know? It was still good. But yeah, Maverick takes the cake for me as like...
I think like for my experience, like watching it first time, I was a bit more critical just because I know like what's allowed, what's not allowed. But then watching it,
like the crashing of the thing.
Yeah. And so like second time watching it, I actually enjoyed it a bit more because I let that go and just enjoyed it as a movie.
Right. That makes sense. Did you know that guy made like he produced Pirates of the Caribbean as well?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I went through it because I was like, is this guy a director? Like, what does he do? And then I found like he's a producer. And then I checked out his IMDb and I was like, oh, Pirates of the Caribbean. He'd done a bunch of other movies too, which were pretty like notable.
Hmm.
So it's not like he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't know
But,
that. I was like, oh, he just like made it famous with this Top Gun thing.
mhm.
But like, no, that's just his new gimmick of like making things real.
Right. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's like talks of F1 like two.
Ew. Yeah, but like, what are you gonna do? You know, like,
Well, there
you
were
know what?
there
Yeah.
somewhere where I saw, but I didn't hear like specifically directly or from the director or the producer or whatever. It's like putting in the like Tom Cruise as the other rivalry or something.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah, I heard
So
that though. I saw that
yeah.
on the red carpet.
Hmm.
Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise were talking, and they were talking about like, but that makes sense. Like they were talking about, I guess, well, like Brad Pitt was like, I'm not gonna do the crazy stunts that you do,
Hmm.
but like them talking together, like that actually makes sense because it's like the rival, like prelude into the, or like not prelude, but like hint at the next movie as them two together. I could see that.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. This is Apple's first huge blockbuster success. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I I was watching the interviews, and one thing that he was saying, like the who's that? Who's the younger actor? What's his
Uh,
name?
I don't know his
He
name.
was in. Yeah. Okay. Well, that dude, the younger driver, he he was saying how this movie makes you want to be in the world.
Hmm.
Whereas like most movie, like that's something that we kind of lost in movie making now, where it's like when you leave the theater, like, oh man, I wish I spent more time in that world, right? And I was like, yeah, I could see that. I felt that's why I wanted to watch it again. I was like, it made it like there was a draw there, which is weird. I hadn't felt that in a movie in a long time, you know?
Right. Yeah. And
Like
like
you
it's
too, right? Like yeah,
sure. Yeah. I mean, it's like it's funny because it's the whole point of that is also to grow the F1
true,
franchise.
true. Yeah, and then I started watching the. I went back to anime for a bit because I want to finish the series. I don't want to like split it, but the
Hmm.
F1 Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
I watched like the first couple episodes. I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Hmm.
I wanted to be in like I wanted to be back in that world. That's
Yeah.
why I like, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
It's a real
was
world.
good.
It exists, right? So you can
Yeah,
always.
that's why it's cool. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I didn't realize because one thing that they kept saying, Brad Pitt was like, it's a spiritual movie. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro?
Hmm.
Like, he's like, the ending was a spiritual ending. I got that because he's like chasing the Stoke, whatever.
Yeah.
But the first time we watched it, I had missed the whole Daytona
Yeah. This one.
bit.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, what? I was just jumping into the scene, like, because we came late. So I got into the scene where he's in the restaurant and then he offers him the job. Right?
Hmm.
But watching it from the beginning, because I was like, I'm not going to miss the beginning this time. It made total sense. It's like, oh, I get it. He's like a vagabond
Hmm.
racer.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that about Brad Pitt's character. Like, just constantly chasing the Stoke,
Yeah.
you know? I thought he was just like the best racer. But it made sense. Like, he's just going from like competition to like
Hmm.
see how good he can get. You know, there's an actual person who does that. Mighty Mouse in UFC. He won the UFC title and he was like named the GOAT. So he left the UFC and then he joined ONE FC to get that title. He got that title and now he's like doing jujitsu because he wants that title.
Hmm.
And he was saying that like it's cool to get a belt, but it's even cooler to be like Thanos and get all the rings,
Right.
you know? And I felt that with Brad Pitt's character. I was like, oh, you're just chasing like, okay,
Yeah.
now I was like the number one Baja racer. Oh,
Yeah.
now I'm the
Hmm.
number one like F1 racer. Now I'm the Daytona racer. You
But it's
know,
hard
but
to. The
yeah.
whole point of that was it's hard to get into F1. That's like the
Oh, really?
pinnacle. That's the pinnacle, right?
Okay.
And it's a lot of times it's when you're young is when they normally get you in,
Mm.
and if you're not doing well, you're out, and that happens
Oh,
all
really?
the time. Yeah. You'll probably see it through Drive to Survive. Some of them that make it
Started
in
early
and
on.
then or got in and like maybe only 5 races they can do, but they weren't doing well, and now they're not in F1 anymore.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool. Good to know. Yeah, the Daytona one in the beginning. I
Hmm.
forgot that that was that other movie that we watched. That 24-hour, what was it? Like Ford versus
Yeah,
Ferrari?
yeah. There was
Oh, we
like
watched it?
yeah. There was like matchups of that now where I saw on the internet where it's like the last scene or he's just driving and there's no like audio, right? Or just like the sounds of the road or whatever, right?
Okay.
No, 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 no. Sorry, not that scene. The scene of the last part of the race, the last race.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. When
And
he's like,
they're
going
matching
to flow
in,
state.
yeah, and they're using Matt Damon's um, audio from Ford versus Ferrari, where he's talking about that exact scene about a race, like being one with the machine, and like that's
Oh, they both said it.
yeah. They
Oh,
mentioned
that's
that
really
in
cool.
Ford versus Ferrari too. Yeah, that's like something that all drivers, I think,
Ah,
look for, where that's what they were matching it, where it's like you're nothing, like you're the flying part, right? So you're
yeah.
one with the machine, everything's just working out. Like there's a good dialogue that's from that movie, Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, interesting. That's cool. That's cool. Huh. Okay. Yeah. When he mentioned that the flow state, I was like, that's a lot of things. A lot of people like experience that.
Mm-hmm.
They're like going through that flow. It's not just like relative to. It's not just like solely allocated towards like racing. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think that that's what a lot of people are are chasing. They're chasing like this illusory state where you're just like in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But it's like you can kind of just do that with anything. Like if you learn how to like meditate, like that's really just Zen. We're just like locked in,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
But it's like it's weird to see these like spiritual junkies who are searching for that thing when it's like it's pretty easy to do. You know what I mean? Or like you kind of like overhype a thing.
Sure.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like I was
Yeah.
trying to explain that like the thing to Tara, like the storyline, because I was like, oh, you should come watch it. She's like, no, and I was like, yeah, there's one racer, he's so cool, he's like spiritual because he's chasing the thing. She's like, oh, sounds like a loser, and I was like, oh, what do you mean? And then she's like, yeah, imagine if you just like did nothing and you just kept going from race, like you had nothing going on except like
Mm-hmm.
chasing like
Right.
like
Yeah.
your whole life is a mess,
Mm-hmm.
but you're just chasing a thing. It's like, oh, that's not somebody you want to be around. I was like, oh, I never thought about it like that. You know what I mean? Like we like glorify these things, but it's like we wouldn't want to do it. It's like when they say like if you want to be a champion, your whole life has to be a mess except for fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Because like your relationships are gone, like there's no
Sure. Sure.
nothing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
There's only that one thing, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But I mean it makes for a great movie
Yeah.
and it's inspirational, you know.
Exactly.
You saw Warzone?
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. Because it's like
Yeah, I
that. It's
wanted
like
to,
we
but I
all.
wanted to be in the right mindset when I'm ready to watch
Oh,
it.
true, true.
So.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy, but it's just like that where we all glorify like going to war, but this movie doesn't glorify it. And you're like, ooh, yeah, I don't want to do that. No, no, that doesn't sound
Mm.
like fun at all. Yeah,
Right.
I don't know, it's like reality of the situation, but yeah. Any other things about F1 that you want to bring up?
No, I think it was good. It will help that franchise. That's already $1 billion.
One thing I was thinking about actually in relation to like UFOs, but not directly related, but when they were building the machines, I was like, wait, this is just F1. What does the defense contractor look like?
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks so sick. Like they had like the whole facility was dedicated to creating the cars, and then they have like the laser jet streams, and they're just trying to make the best car ever, right? I'm like, and even the girl, she came from Lockheed.
Yeah, I was
Remember?
about to
They're
say.
like,
Yeah,
oh, they
yeah.
took me from Lockheed Martin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what do you have at Lockheed, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Sure. Yeah.
these are just racing cars,
Yeah.
you know? But like, what does your defense budget look like?
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting.
Sure. Yeah. Just another like side point to the cars. Since it is called F1, but what they were driving, because I'm not that level, but like there are people that can tell, oh, that's an F2 car, not an F1 car.
Oh yeah, they said that in the interviews. They're like, "Oh, you drove an F1 car." Like, I think they said like some were F4 cars that they just
Maybe.
modded to make it look like
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
F1
Yeah. Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Other people knew, yeah, because they couldn't actually drive an F1 cars too hard.
It's
So
not
they
about. I
like
don't know if it's no. It's not
lower
necessarily
down.
about being. It could be too hard. That's the possibility, but it was very expensive. It wouldn't just make sense for the budget. It's about.
Oh,
If they
interesting.
had to get one, it's like $250,000 or something per
Oh, per
car, right?
vehicle.
Per vehicle, yeah. So, and they had like 6 vehicles, but an F2 one was like 30,000. So they can get
Oh,
6 or 10
yeah.
of them, right? for the
Yeah,
shots
that makes
and
sense.
accidents or whatever they need to do with it. But it wouldn't
Right.
be, $250,000 for six of them. It just wouldn't make sense.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Well, they're saying that in the interviews that like they weren't driving F1 cars, like because it was
Yeah,
actually
they
them.
it wasn't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well,
I know that there was times where I was watching because people were at the races, right? Whenever I think they were doing it during first practice or some time they were doing that filming along with other cars. So I don't know.
well, they were doing it the whole time, which is crazy. Like a
Right.
lot of those scenes, those like racing scenes, like even when they were on the track,
Hmm.
that was real. They
Yeah,
had
yeah,
like
yeah.
one go at the thing,
Right,
and
right, right.
Brad Pitt was saying like it was so much pressure because like everyone's watching you, and you don't want to mess up the shot because you only got one shot at this
Right.
one go around, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because they like were holding up the
Well,
races
funny, it's
literally to do
it's
the
it's
thing.
interesting because luckily they did it between because they had a gap, right? Because of the strike happened, so they had to stop filming, and then they
Oh, interesting. I didn't know.
rejoined in the next season. Lucky, well, I would say, I guess they would do something about it, but there wasn't much of a change in who the drivers were between those 2 years.
Right. Okay.
Because all this year
Yeah.
is there's like five new drivers or something like that this year.
And then they have to bring them back to fill in those
Right.
scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure
Oh,
like how they would
interesting.
have to solve that, but like, which is funny because those 2 years it was about the same drivers in the same
Okay.
seats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they didn't have
But
to.
there's only like one driver that I knew, which is Lewis Hamilton, because he's so iconic with his like
Hmm. Hmm.
tattoo and his like hair, and they kept showing him in the movie, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. Well, he was part of the movie, right? So I think that makes
yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But like, it's like I didn't really notice anyone else. Like, I guess you could have just filled in with randoms, because
True.
like I would have known, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. All in all, I think it was a good movie. Like, definitely makes you want to enter into that world and become more of a fan of F1.
Hmm.
But like Maverick still. It's funny you said that too, because I was like, is it just me? I'll see what you think.
Right.
But like, yeah, no, Maverick was definitely better. Even
Hmm.
still, I got Maverick for Apple, and I just play it in the background while I'm like working. And I'm just like, like pause and watch like the fighter pilot scenes. I'm like, yo, this is so sick.
Right.
There's just something about being in the air, compared, you know what I mean? It's like you're so free.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. I mean, like it's
You
much
know what I mean?
more. It's more further away than driving, right? Like we can all
Yeah, true, true,
drive,
true.
but we're not flying
Yeah,
fighter
yeah, yeah, true,
jets.
true. And then the stuff that you do where you're like going on your side and
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
going
But there was
upside down. You're
more.
like, that's so
There was
sick,
more.
bro.
It was more risk oriented in that way. You're fighting with another plane, right? There's
True,
guns
that's true.
going
Yeah, yeah.
off. So
True, true, true. Yeah. There's any last things? Or
no,
jump into
good movie.
yeah. Yeah, good movie. Would you watch it a third time? A fourth time?
Yeah, probably on Apple TV.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it's not like a Maverick, you know? Like, damn. That was a great movie. Still a good movie. F1's still good, but just like Maverick was top
Hmm.
tier. Okay, so let me ask something. Do you okay, if I know I brought this example up before with like homeless people. So like if a homeless person came up to you and were like, I have a business idea, or like, dude, I don't even know you. Or like just a random, hey, I have a business idea. I don't even know you, right? But if like you had a business idea, like, all right, tell me about it.
Hmm.
You know, or like somebody you knew had a business idea and you're like, okay, let's hear it, right? So do you believe in the power of like network effects in that? Like you
Networking.
agree?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
network effects. So yeah, networking, sure, but like network effects, meaning like your circle, if your circle grows in power, it like the ramification, like
Sure.
as
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one ship rises, all ships rise, type
Hmm.
thing,
Hmm.
right? Um, and like when people or the best example, like TDE, Kendrick Lamar. Okay, so like SZA and Kendrick Lamar are destroying it right now, right? In terms of the tour, like it's the best selling hip hop tour. He has the most streams, but you're like, well, why do you pick SZA and not this other person? Well, because he
Hmm.
knows SZA and they have songs together and they were both on the same label before. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a network effect there. They're
Yeah.
like, we are a part of the same network.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Okay. So I read this book called Behold the Pale Horse. And one thing that it brought up was our it was kind of a conspiracy book. It was about like the New World Order. So like
Okay.
how they want a one world government type thing, and like
Mm-hmm.
how they're going to use like UFOs as a as just like the COVID. We're all going to lock down because there's an external giant threat, you know. And it was saying that like aside from that, because that could just be a conspiracy. It's like there's been secret societies that have been a part of civilization forever,
Mm-hmm.
and like they they like help one another and they run a lot of things. So like a lot of the US presidents were Freemasons. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's not that like correlation is not causation, but it's like I can understand how if you're a part of a secret society, you'll want to support other people in that secret society.
Mm-hmm.
Just by
Sure.
like your network. It's like, oh, it's just close by. I know this guy. He seems like a reputable guy. I'm gonna help him out. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So how can we not believe that the world is being run by a bunch of like a cabal? You know, and people are like, oh, the world's being run by a cabal, and you're like, yeah, that's too out there. But it's like it's not out there. We do it on a small scale. And if it happens on a small scale, of course it happens on a big scale.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Elon Musk was saying like, "Oh, I without my endorsement of $250 million, like you wouldn't be president right now," to Trump.
Right.
So, well, who gave him the money? Your network.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? So it's like they're all kind of pulling strings for one another. Do you agree or disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree with that.
Like it makes total sense, right?
Sure.
Okay. So with that, it's like how do we know how do we know like okay, wait, there's that. And then the other thing is like we need a government to organize us.
Mm-hmm.
No, but like really, you know, like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
people say it all the time. It's like in the book it said there's two ways. So humanity will go extinct unless two things happen. Either some power rises up to create order, or we wake up individually and we're like take accountability for our actions,
Mm-hmm.
right? And just knowing how humans operate, the latter, like taking accountability for our actions, is very unlikely.
Okay.
Like, you think everyone's gonna wake up and be like, "Oh, you know what? I am spending too much money. Oh, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't
No, no,
make that
no. Yeah,
decision.
yeah.
Oh,
And
you
I
know,
understand what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
you see what I mean, right?" So we actually rely on governments to help keep order.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're going to regulate your food. Hey, we're going to like regulate your money. Hey, we're going to regulate your job. Everyone gets a 5 day work week, not seven. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's like organisms in place, right?
Yeah.
Or organizations in place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, how do we know that the secret societies aren't running the government systems in place, the organizations that we've set up?
Okay.
But like, how do we know they're not? Because
Right.
technically, it's like if take away the idea of secret society and just call it like a network effect.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we know that the network that you're in isn't running the show,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? It makes total sense. It's like, okay, so that's why you have Republicans and Democrats, bro. Don't
Mm-hmm.
call it secret society, just call it like a friggin' network, you know? But like a
Yeah, it's
secret
not. Yeah,
society means
it's
that like
network. It's lobbying. There's already words that already
that's what I'm
exist
saying.
for it. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's what he was trying to say. And I'm like, if you read the book face value, you're like, secret society is running the world. There's a one world government goal. And I'm like, that sounds crazy on the offset. But if you really think about it, that is just how we operate, bro. The
Mm-hmm.
UN technically is like a one world government. We've all banded together to collectively agree on some like laws.
Right. Yeah.
He's not saying the UN, but you know what I mean? Like if you look at it as like a principle and not like a not a conspiracy,
Mm-hmm.
this is how our world is run,
Yeah.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
like we are really just like pawns in the game, bro. Because do you have access to those secret societies? No.
Yeah. No. Not
Do
directly.
I
No.
do I have access to um I won't name names, but there's a person who is doing a hunger strike right now. Okay, because they think that what's happening in Israel is genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. All right, well, do whatever you want, bro. Yeah, for sure. Do your hunger strike. And they're going to like MP's office and being like, if you don't, if you don't fix this, I will not eat. And I'm like, the MP has nothing to do with global politics, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're just starving for nothing. You see what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
we're we're not even awake to that level.
Mm-hmm.
So we need big daddy government to manage things. That person's a pawn. You don't even understand that an MP, a local MP, has nothing to do with global politics, bro. You're
Right.
starving for nothing.
Yeah.
So like everyone should just wake up. We should take our power back. Really? That person's harming themselves and they don't even know why they're harming themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like all that being said, what I'm saying now is like is this just how the game is run and we have to accept the fact that we're just like pawns in the bigger game?
Sure. Yeah.
Or give me like an alternate opinion. Like I don't know. Like I feel like after reading that book, I was like, that's actually quite accurate. Not
I
like the
think I wouldn't
conspiracies of the
say
SI.
no. I don't disagree with that. There was someone else that brought up a point where it's also people being not educated on
Yeah,
people being non-educated, and they're the ones that are voting, right? So like if 60% of
yeah,
the public is uneducated on certain things or a lot of things within how government is run, and you're just voting for people based on feelings, then yeah, they are. That's how they
exactly.
run it. Yeah.
And that's marketing.
Yeah.
And that is mass manipulation. That's
Mm-hmm.
the propaganda machine at work.
Yeah.
If I just pay you enough, if Elon Musk gives $250 million to run advertising for Trump, then he'll he'll own most of the like the commercials.
Yeah. 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 That's
But
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But like
Mm-hmm.
the lower person who's trying to change things doesn't have enough money, so it's like, yeah, you have a good idea, but you have no platform,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think it's really just about like accepting that this is how it is, and you just gotta hope for the person in power to have like good values.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even like I literally just say hope because like you can really just hope for it
Sure.
because you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
vote for it. You know, you can't be like, oh, I vote for this person's values. Everyone
Mm-hmm.
voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Look what's happening now. You know,
Right.
you're like, oh, dude, didn't work out. You're like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you can only hope, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I like Kendrick Lamar so much. Like he's got the best like hip hop tour right now, and like he's just like spewing positivity. I know it was based off of, like hate, like a rap battle, but like him and SZA on this tour, like I like follow the GNX account, and like they're just doing so many things for like children, positivity. Like he stopped his whole concert and he's like to this little kid like. You have something special inside of you. I believe in you. And I'm like, damn, bro. That kid's gonna remember that for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, Kendrick said this about me, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it's like what do you do with your power and influence?
Right. That's a good question.
You know?
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
and I think that like before it was about it like I was like, if you just change your ultimately you can only change your world, your own individual world,
Mm-hmm.
right? And just hope that like that has a network effect to spew onto other things. You know? But I don't know. I just don't believe in this giant policy change anymore. Like I
I
really
don't know
think
what
we're
that
just I
means.
think
Giant policy
like
change.
like we both agree Bernie Sanders is onto something. Tax the corporations and use that excess amount of tax in order to give people UBI,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, we also agree that it seems like there's UAP technology that has crazy amounts of free energy. Give us the free energy,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't care about alien life. Totally. They could be real, they could be not be real. Whatever, who cares? Just give us the free energy because people are suffering, right? Two obvious things.
Mm-hmm.
UBI, give us technology. How are you supposed to lobby for that, bro? You see what I
Right.
mean? Like, this is a great idea. A lot of people on the internet are championing for it, but
Mm-hmm.
who's doing it?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So I'm like, I really feel like we're just powerless. Like we're in this game of like, unless you tell me I'm wrong, I'm like, I'm open to it. I
No,
just
I mean,
don't
I
think I'm
don't think
wrong.
it's. I don't believe it's necessarily powerless. Bernie Sanders wouldn't even be a senator, right?
Yeah, but he's
to
what's he
get the
doing though?
information out. No, because he
Yeah, the
can't just
information.
be. Yeah, no. The point is, it's not one person. You need to be able to have more than one person in there to get things done, right? So that's all based on voting, and that's one state that voted for Bernie Sanders, and there's 50 other states to do the same.
Right. And you said it comes down to education,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it comes down to advertising.
Yeah.
So even though it has great information, it's not popular. So,
I don't know if it's necessarily. Well, I agree with you. Yeah, it's not popular, but that's why he's going around. Why was he on Joe Rogan? Why is he doing
no, 100%
right?
agree. But it's like,
Yeah.
how many people are actually going to change because of that? And how much can, let's say, even on an individual level.
But no, that's what I'm saying.
No,
Like, he did it himself, right?
no, right. All right. Here's a better example. You're like, so I'm going to give you, um, like a half-eaten sandwich or um, a half-eaten smoothie. They're both
Mm-hmm.
half-eaten. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, no, I want a full one. No, these are your two options, bro. No, but I
Right.
want a full one. No, these are your two options.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? It's like, dude, they both suck. Yeah, but these are your two options. Pick. Well, I don't want to pick. All right, fine. Your vote doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want? You know what I mean? It's like that's what I mean about the rig system. It's like, yeah, I know I want a full sandwich. I know I want a full smoothie,
Sure.
but I'm only being offered half.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean? So it's like, so how do you change it? You're like, yeah, I want to lobby and vote. Okay, you're voting between two half-eaten sandwiches.
Yeah,
They
because
both suck.
that's right, right. That's who you pick through the primaries.
Right, but who put that other even below that, even below the primaries?
Sure.
It's still who is like, even if you have the best idea, like so many people said that they colluded to get Bernie out there. Remember, like it was like Hillary or Bernie, and then they went with Hillary. They all supported Hillary,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was like the big conspiracy.
Sure.
So it's like, even if you want the thing, they could still rig the system so that you
Mm-hmm.
don't get the thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why I'm like, are we just powerless? Is that what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Or just like shouting into the void? But like, would you want to have all that? Like, would you want that power to control things?
To
Like,
control
no,
things.
no. Like,
Right.
like who's gonna fix the road, bro? I don't know. Ask someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the argument he was making in the book as well. That like, when we when we're born out of the womb, we seek another womb. I'm like, oh, I've never thought of it like that. We
Mm-hmm.
seek safety, security. We seek somebody to tell us everything's gonna be okay tomorrow.
Right.
Nobody likes chaos,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, okay, you don't like chaos? We're gonna give you a one world order, but
Right.
it comes with some strings, and those
Mm-hmm.
strings are
Mm-hmm.
mass surveillance. They're like, all right, cool, but I get to eat, right? Yeah, you do. Oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. You get to watch your Netflix, right? Yeah, you do. See what I mean? So it's like we don't really want change. We want comfort. We want
Oh
the
yeah,
womb,
yeah. Of course, yeah, yeah.
right? So it's like, so why are we all angry about a one world government? Maybe we do. All we need to do is hope that the
I
one world
really don't
government's
think,
benevolent,
but
bro.
I don't. I, again, I was just saying, I really don't think a lot of people are angry. It seems like a few people are. I don't think it's
No, come on. No, no, wait, hold on,
the whole
wait.
whole all.
What's going on in America right now?
You're talking about the whole population. I'm talking about one world government. You're talking about.
No, 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 like a government system. Delete the one world government. That's a crazy conspiracy. What I'm
Okay.
saying is like we look to the government. So people are like, "Oh, government save me."
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, "Oh, look, it seems like USA is becoming Nazi 2.0 with their concentration camps and like whatever." And
Mm-hmm.
you're like, "That's but you get Netflix."
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, "Hey, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I do get
Yeah.
Netflix."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nobody's really gonna do anything about it. Like, I'm like, dude, that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Like, what I'm seeing, what's happening is crazy. The ice thing is crazy. What are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna watch Netflix. I'm gonna double tap and be like, yeah, that's crazy. Like it.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not gonna do anything about it.
Right.
Like, but
Yeah.
really though, all
Mm-hmm.
right, so we can protest. Okay, what's that gonna do, bro? Just
Mm-hmm.
don't vote him in. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Unless I'm
Right.
wrong, just tell me like, hey, that's kind of wrong, bro.
I don't. Well, I got to see the percentages. It seems like more people
No, I'm
voted for
saying
Trump
to
this
change it.
time.
No, right. But nobody expected ICE. Nobody expected like
Oh
the
no, I
Trump
think you would expect it.
2028.
Ice. It happened in the first.
Really,
It happened in his first term, of course.
the locking up of the
Yeah, that was all in his first term
illegals.
too. Yeah, that was not
So
new. It's not a new that was only this term. He did it in his first term.
people were going around locking other people up.
Yeah, ICE was a thing then.
No, it was a thing, but it's like the
Y-
level that it's at now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, really? Because I
yeah.
didn't see anything like this is crazy now. Like I
No,
get the mega thing, but no, but no, wait, hold on. But like actually going in to like stop people and ask them for the IDs, going into shops and pulling people out,
I
waiting
think there
outside
were
Home
stories like
Depot.
that. I think there were stories like that. I don't think it's like
I don't
unexpected from
know.
Trump. I don't think it's unexpected.
So then why the hell did everyone vote him again? Because of the marketing. Because they're like, yeah, he's gonna change things.
Yeah, or they believe that this other person. We don't want to. They called her the the Nazi, or the
Which is propaganda. See what I mean?
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
dude,
exactly. And that's what
we're just being manipulated.
yeah, yeah, and that's what I mean. As you said, $250 million from Elon Musk.
So are we as a species just completely gullible?
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's what it shows right there. Yeah.
I will give you a personal story that just happened, and I had to take it down because I was like, oh, this is like, Arvel, if you're listening to this, here's the story. So I wrote this article. So I like to take photos and then like use the photos in an article, right? I don't just like to post the photos.
Hmm.
So I posted a picture of Tara, like that I've shot, like a series of photos. And then I wrote an article, but I was like, what am I going to write about? And then me and Arvel were going back and forth about like health, right? Like, oh yeah, because he sent the blood work to Tara, and Tara's like, oh, optimize, like, oh, seems low, whatever, right? So like he's all about optimizing his health. So my brain was like, cool, let me just write about that. So I wrote about like how I grew up as a Filipino,
Hmm.
and my wife showed me through naturopathic doctoring that like Filipino food is bad for you,
Hmm.
straight up, point blank. And then I explained how there's so much sodium and sugar, and is it any wonder that high blood pressure, which leads to cardiac arrest, diabetes, and cirrhosis of the liver because we drink a lot, are like main culprits of death for Filipino people.
Hmm.
I just said that, like, point, like, it's not good for you. I'm not, and then he even said, does that mean you should stop eating it? No, just in moderation. The title was, It's All in the Dose.
Hmm.
It's still on my website, but I had to take it down from social media because I posted it. And then Arvo calls me. He's like, yo, that thing that Tara wrote was like crazy. I'm like,
Oh.
what are you talking about? And then he's like, yeah, she wrote about like Filipino food being bad for you. I'm like, did you read? I said my wife, bro. And he's like, oh, you wrote that? I'm like, yeah, bro. And then like, so I called Tara. I was like, oh, that's so funny. Arvel thought like you wrote it, and she's like, oh, I can see that because she just posted a photo of herself and like whatever. And then so I come home from I think I was doing FMA, and then um, she goes, yeah, my dad thought I wrote that too, and my sister. And I was like, what? Did anybody? I literally said my wife. Did you just not read? And then I was like to Arvel, like, oh, it's funny because like more people are seeing it. And I was like, did everyone just jump to where I said like quick highlight? Nobody read the first two paragraphs where I was talking about my childhood
They don't. They don't.
and my family. Like I was like literally my wife. And then Arvel's like, no, you didn't. And I literally screenshotted it and I highlighted it to him like, read that line. I'm like, damn, okay. It's like nobody read it, bro.
Hmm.
They just jumped to the salaciousness.
And that's all the time. That's happening all the time.
That's
Nobody
what I
just
mean.
reads. No, again, that's what it goes back to just reading the headlines, but not
That's what I'm saying, bro.
reading the story. Yeah, I know.
Right? And then my mom messages me in our family chat and she's like, take that down. How dare you? You're knocking Filipino people. And you know what I said to my mom? Name me one. She's like, your grandma's still alive. I was like, name me one person in our family that isn't on high blood pressure medication or diabetes medication.
Hmm.
Couldn't do it. And then she's like, oh, dude, that's so rude. The Filipino people will be so mad at you. I'm like, I'm just telling you the truth, bro. Like people just don't want the truth. They can't take the truth. And I was like, out of respect for you, mom, I love you, and take it down. But it's still
Hmm.
staying on my website. But you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, dude, I was just giving you truth. right?
Yeah.
And this is how we got to where we are. When I was saying like, are we just cogs in a machine? Are we all just confused? Or can we actually all individually wake up? I don't think so. I think we need big daddy
No, I,
government to
I,
really regulate things, bro.
I
It's a
think
simple thing. You didn't even read the first two paragraphs, dog. What?
no, I don't disagree with you on that. I think it's that we run on feelings, not on facts.
But that is how people are manipulated.
Yeah, because we just run on feelings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally. But if you run on feelings, you can be hijacked by marketing.
of course.
That's my entire job is marketing.
Yeah.
That's why I got into it. Cause I'm like, bro, it's manipulation. I'm just manipulating. It's the force, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But am I doing a positive or a negative thing? So I want to do a positive thing with the force.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the truth. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
people aren't ready for the truth. All right, cool, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then Tara was like, make sure you don't post any weird things. Cause like now it seems like a lot of people are looking at your stuff. And I'm like, one, it's cool that they're looking at my stuff. But two, it's like I post a lot about UFOs and like how many people
Already
behind the
weird things.
scenes?
Sure.
You probably know what I'm saying. How many people behind the scenes are like, yo, he's kind of crazy. I was at a family party and they're like, yo, you're crazy. I'm like, dog, did you look into it? Did you like the science is there? You're
Mm-hmm.
telling me a Nobel Prize person. You're telling me that Navy officials are all wrong. People who have the hand on the nuclear button, who get tested all the time. They have to tell other people if they take ibuprofen. They have to do psych evaluations all the time, and they said that they saw a UFO. You're telling me they're wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you're crazy. You
Right.
see what I mean? Feelings over facts, bro.
But
Just a feeling.
this is how the
UFOs can't be real. Look at the facts, bro.
but we know this.
You know what I
This
mean?
is the world is run through feelings.
And that's why I'm like, we need big daddy government. As I read this book, I'm like, actually, it seems like we probably do need a one world government. It said like humans would extinct themselves if something didn't take over, if they weren't managed by something. I'm like, this is true.
Mm-hmm.
No, I want my freedom. Do you really? Because I can't even trust you to look at the facts, bro. You didn't even read the second paragraph where I
Well,
said,
yeah. I
my
mean,
life.
that's why a lot of things it's difficult to run even with government because you're trying to because you're not just now one group. You're talking about the whole citizens. Now you're talking about the whole world.
Yeah,
How do you appease everybody?
that's what I'm saying.
That's
bro.
where you have to follow the facts instead of feelings.
Right, but who's looking at the facts? Not everyone.
Mm-hmm. Individually,
Not
no.
even not
Yeah.
not even facts. Not even facts. Algorithms too. Remember that thing that was the ice thing when it happened, right? Like Tara didn't see it, my coworker didn't see it because like all the algorithms are not in that favor. So it's
Right.
like, oh, do you see what's happening in the US? Like, no. Oh my God, that's crazy, bro. So you're being controlled by the algorithm now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And like people are like, oh, are you not controlled? Of course I am. Of course I am. I'm sure there's stuff happening around the world that I don't even see.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jonah in the Philippines, he'll be like, dude, you see what's happening here? I'm like, nope, I don't see that. Explain it to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like we are just like ushered as like okay, one thing that there's all right. So they're saying that there's deep underground military bases. Okay, this is a fact, right? We know that this is real, but now that they're saying there's deep underground cities being built,
Mm-hmm.
right, where it's so below the ground that if a nuclear bomb happened, they'd be okay.
Right.
And the only people that are making this are rich people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It obviously makes sense. And then you're like, oh, it's a cabal. It's a conspiracy. It's like, no, dude, if you were rich too, you'd be making the same thing because you wouldn't want to die like them or like us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have enough money to build an underground base. If something happens on the upper world, I'm dead just like all of you.
Right.
But like people don't want, like, I can't even fault the person who has the money who's doing that. You know what I mean? It's like, of course you would do that, bro. If you had trillions of dollars, why would you not make an underground base for your family?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
True.
Like, we crazy. Like, would you
Yeah.
not do that? Would you, if you had trillions of dollars, wouldn't you make an underground base and invite me? You'd be like, hey, man, I got trillions of dollars, but I'm going to make this underground base. Seems like something's about to happen. Come down to the base with me. I'm like, yeah, for sure, bro. You got Wi-Fi down there? You got AC? You got a way to make food? All right, we're good, bro. I'll join you.
Mm-hmm.
It's so obvious, right? And we fault those people for doing it. Why would you fault them? We would do the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. that's a crazy rant, but like, you know where my head's at. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
come
No, no,
on.
no. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Are you searching
No, no, no. I'm not
something? Or?
searching. No, I just got a
Oh,
call.
okay.
That's all.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. I thought you're like deep underground elevators, like
No, 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 no.
something.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. They are doing that. I mean, we know about the Mark Zuckerberg's one that he's building,
Bro,
right?
my dad sent me that. Elon Musk is making one in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
or both Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. And my dad's like, "Look, the Philippines is booming. They're building underground houses." I was like,
But for
"Yeah,
who?
but for who, bro? Like for themselves, you know?"
Right.
And this, like, when you take it into it, it's like, you know that thing where people are like, if I was you, like we are all one form of consciousness, and if I was in your shoes with your experiences and your thoughts, I'd be just like you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like if you just look at life in this manner, I can't even fault you, bro. I don't know what your upbringing was like. I don't know who you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people believe in like Jesus as their savior. Some people believe in like Buddha. So it's like it's just the world, bro. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away from the fact that this is actually happening and people think it's a crazy conspiracy, but it's real, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't want it to be real,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Right.
Like you don't want to know that Filipino food is bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm just saying it's bad for you. Like it's a proven fact. And my mom's like, you have to have like research for it. I'm like, there is research. High sodium leads to high blood pressure, cardiac arrests. Bro, come on. What are we doing? You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But like we don't want to look at the research.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Your thoughts. Go. Something.
No, but that's. I don't know why you would get mad at that. I hear that all the time,
I
even
wonder if
with
that's like,
even
yeah,
with
yeah.
certain like eating a lot of rice is not good for you. But
It's not.
that's the whole world, right? Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
the population eats a lot of rice.
Right. And it's just more like, it's more like take with what the information you want. It's like we were happier when we didn't know.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's not good for you. Like, oh, that's why I didn't want to read that it wasn't good for me. Doesn't change the fact that it's not good for you. It just means that you're just oblivious to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You're right.
Or if you know, just do it. Sure, okay, fine. Do it. It's your choice, bro. But
Mm-hmm.
like, know what you're doing. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. 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 Right. Right.
Yeah. Like
Again,
yeah.
it's all about it's feelings. It's really about
Yeah.
feelings. Yeah.
But does that make us like a horde? Like we're not even. It's almost like we're an organism,
Yeah. No, we are an organism in that sense, right? We
right?
act in that way, right? We're gonna go with feelings because
Yeah,
it's just how we're built in a lot of ways.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like, is the human species just like every other species, but we think we're different
Right.
because we have our arrogance. You know, we're like, oh, I'm different from the animals. You know, like, oh, a dolphin. I'm smarter than a dolphin. I'm more better than a dolphin. Are you? Or are
Right.
you just like
That's
another thing on
certain.
Earth, bro?
Yeah. Now I would say that's certain cultures. Not all cultures necessarily agree with that. Right.
True. Yeah.
That's
Because they
depending on
live.
what were you taught, and that kind of thing does affect you. I don't like Native Indian culture wasn't like that.
Dude, all right. So I heard this. I was listening to this podcast, and one thing the guy was saying is like, they're talking about aliens, and they're like, we are the aliens, but not in like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, you know what's crazy? Tara asked me like, how did life form on this earth? And I was like, oh, you didn't know this? So like, she's like, how do we go from like being a dinosaur to being humans? Like, what happened to the dinosaurs? Like, obviously they died. And I was like, yeah, but we were a shrew before,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she's like, what? And then I was like, yeah, like, so basically the theory now is that like panspermia happened, like bacteria hit the water and then became single cell organisms, multiple cells. We turned into life. We started walking, and then she's like, oh, so we're all just bacteria. I'm like, yeah, technically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
like, how are we any different, bro, than like everything else? And one again, go back to the thing where he's like, we are aliens. taking away like the alien theory, it's just more like he said that we are aliens because our ideas are different than other things.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Native American culture worked in unison, worked in harmony with nature.
Mm-hmm.
But Western civilization is dominating nature,
Right.
right? So like that's what makes us aliens. It's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not that we're like aliens, but it's like we are foreign to this thing. We're not in harmony with the way the planet works, you know?
Right.
Because like
Yeah.
what other animal consumes more than it has? No, but like actually though, what other animal like stows away so many things?
Yeah, more than it can get. Well, I think
Yeah.
the nature is equal in that it's a balance, right?
Mm.
Um, but like that's the whole idea. We have figured out a way to just hoard things. That's the whole
Yeah,
point.
like literally, bro. Like
But we were
what
doing
is
that, but it makes sense at the time. We were doing it because we do like there is a like a time, like if we're just growing vegetables, there's a season for vegetables, so we have to be able to store. Now that was beneficial then, but now we can import food from all over the world. So that benefit that we were doing is now a detriment.
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you're talking about as well as like old programming. We're running still old programming under a new operating system, bro. We are a one world species now. Like I don't even think
Mm-hmm.
remember when we were kids
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, oh, they're Japanese, they're from Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so foreign. Or like, oh, they're from Egypt, that's so foreign.
Sure.
And then
Mm-hmm.
now in 2025, we're like, oh, they're Japanese. Love Island, there's a Japanese dude with a British accent. I'm like, it threw me off. I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, because he's Japanese, but he's from Britain. He's born in Britain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like we've become a one world species.
Yeah.
There's no borders anymore. The only
Mm-hmm.
borders are just commercial borders. Like GDP, like everything is about commerce, right? So it's
Sure.
like so like this economic system has more money than this economic system and like we want to regulate immigration, but like I can go to that country. I just buy a plane ticket now.
Mm-hmm.
When we were kids, it was crazy. Like, dude, you're going to Japan, bro? That's
Mm-hmm.
great. That's like halfway around the world. Even in like 2011, remember when I graduated university? I was trying to get you on that trip too, 2012.
Yeah.
So me, Jared, and Sid went, you know, and it's like, dude, you're going halfway around the world, bro. That's crazy. And then now it's like two of my cousins just went to Japan. Like another one of Tara's friends just got back from Japan, bro. It's like it's not a big thing anymore,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, how are we still running off of like we're all separate?
Because evolution takes a long time.
Or like the evolution of our system
Sure.
takes a long. Like we've like manufactured a system that is so ingrained now that we can't break loose of the system.
Mm-hmm.
Like industrialization.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, dude, oil is not good, right? Like gasoline's not good.
Sure.
Let's all go electric. Oh, but then you're gonna affect the gas prices, and the gas prices will affect the economy of that. You know, it's like, damn, all right, we can't even change that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, are we paying for the sins of the past?
It's a good way to put it.
You know what I mean? Like if we think about, because one thing that he brought up was like the UFO thing stems back to like World War II, 1940s.
Mm-hmm.
And like even before that, they were talking about like spaceships in like I think it was like 1917, 1918. And I'm like, okay, that's like 100 years ago. Like just over 100 years ago.
Yeah.
But we were born in 1988, 1980,
86.
86. So it's like we're pretty late in the game, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The Industrial Revolution, World War II had already happened. We are literally just living off of the sins of the past, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why
Yeah.
is there UFO
Right.
secrecy? Most likely because, like one thing that it said was like, and this is fact, the CIA will work with other organizations, other criminal organizations around the world to dethrone a government that they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Fact, they will fund them. Al Qaeda was funded by the CIA.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like now they're our enemy. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like these are the sins of the past catching up with the present.
Hmm.
And I feel like with the internet, we're all like reading about it and we're like, dude, this sounds crazy. Why are we doing this?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
now it's like, now we're all just waking up to, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
we all know it's crazy, but like, we can't change it.
Right.
But yeah,
I think. I
you
think
think it'll
they're.
change? You think it's changeable?
I think it's changeable, but like, why did they give us the internet? Someone was thinking
Accident.
this.
Maybe the person like had the foresight. Maybe it was Steve Jobs,
Maybe.
bro. He's like, you'll have the internet in your pocket. And internet equals education. Education equals freedom. Maybe he was
Hmm.
like, dude, let's
Maybe.
think that far ahead. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
I don't
true.
know.
Right. It just takes time.
Yeah,
People had to figure out how to use it. Now we're using it.
right. And one thing that he was saying, Steve Jobs, I posted this like yesterday, but his famous quote about like the world is made up of people no smarter than you.
Hmm.
But like, not everyone knew that. But now I can just share that as a meme, and then other people will understand that too. You know what I mean? So it's like maybe he was like, if everyone has the internet in the pocket, we can all wake up,
Yeah. Right. That was a long time ago too.
right? Or maybe that's totally. I'm just making that up. Like, maybe that's just like totally BS. You know, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
don't like what when am I venturing into crazy territory? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm. Hmm. Sure.
that's why I'm like asking you. I'm like, is that crazy?
No, no.
Like,
I think that he knew that there was not a lot of people that were thinking like him. Like he was
yeah,
giving these nuggets to people. Like he was saying these things
yeah.
intentionally. Yeah.
And I think Jesus did the same thing too, bro. I think Buddha did the same thing too, bro.
Hmm.
I think they all are doing it.
Hmm.
But like information doesn't travel quickly enough. But now it can because the
Right.
internet.
Yeah.
And going back to it, I think that that's why we're at a crossroads. We're all just like, what are we going to do with this?
Mm.
Because so many people are waking up to this fact now. But it's like, what are we going to do?
Well, now we make the decision. Do we
Or,
continue
but
on with the
can we do
same?
something? But
But
the thing is, can
that's
we do
the.
something? Like going
I,
back to the beginning, right? It's like,
hmm.
oh, we need people to wake up.
Sure.
But then thinking about the article where I got hate for it, I'm like, what? You guys didn't even read it.
Hmm.
So it's like, it's that balance, it's like emotion versus rationality.
Yeah.
And then it's like, maybe there's comfort in having big daddy government take care of you.
Hmm.
Like,
Sure. Yeah.
this is where I'm at. I'm like, oh, it's a moot point, bro. I don't know. Like, maybe we do need big daddy government because we can't wake up from our emotional state.
Hmm.
What do you think?
No, I don't disagree with that. I think we need government.
Right?
Yeah.
So why are we all so mad, bro?
Well, that's the whole idea of feelings. You're gonna be mad or happy at the same time. It's
We should
part
be
of a thing.
mad no matter what, bro. Like with
Mad
all
or
these things,
happy. I mean, it could be there. There are people that are happy with that stuff.
true. Yeah, that's true. That's crazy, bro. That's true. That is, you're right. Actually, yeah, you're right. There are
Hmm.
people that are happy with that stuff. So it's like, it's like maybe we're all just, maybe we're getting too, maybe I'm getting too caught up in the emotional roller coaster of it all and the
Hmm.
craziness. When in reality, it's like, that's just what humans do, bro.
Hmm.
All like, oh my God, Hitler's so crazy and the concentration camps are crazy, but it's like, but that's what humans do, bro.
Hmm.
Do you think? Or
Well, yeah, they fell for it somehow. Um, at least a lot of them, right?
they thought they were doing the right thing, though.
Exactly. We can easily fall for that thing. But
But
if you
then
believe
what
that
is
it's
right
the
and
right
wrong?
thing, it's
Exactly.
but that becomes subjective.
Right?
It
So
is
it's just
subjective.
like,
It's still feelings
yeah, it is all just feelings. Yeah.
because they felt that they at that time it was they lost World War I because of these people and they were controlling our government, so they voted for
Yeah.
someone like him. It was all feelings.
Yes. Yes. And if we had if we had technology that allowed us to travel intergalactically like UFOs and aliens, wouldn't you be afraid if, like, let's say you were an advanced species that had like got off world and you're like, oh cool, like I'm gonna go travel the world, and
Hmm.
then like a species like us downed your craft, and then we're like, oh dude, they might have the potential to fly out into space just like us and like spread their craziness.
Hmm.
Like, wouldn't you want to control us to be like, yo, you guys need to chill. We're just staying on that planet. You guys are too gnarly right now.
Maybe.
Like objectively speaking, if you saw like a human race and you're like, oh dude, they're just going off of emotion right now.
Hmm.
They're easily controlled, you know?
Hmm.
Would you want that out in the universe?
But we don't know if they were also.
True.
If it happens in one universe, probably can happen in another universe.
It's a good point. But if they were here, then wouldn't they just take us over? Because that's what we do. We just extract resources.
It's possible. We don't know how we would actually react.
Like if we went to another planet and we're like, oh dude, there's so many resources here,
No, you
but
could just
there's like
think
a
about it.
life
Think about it
form,
how we would treat ourselves. Like we were doing the same thing, right? We came to North America.
and we had residential schools
Yeah,
and we destroyed the indigenous population.
right. So there's that, and then there's
Okay.
um, learning from your past as well, which is happening now. Trying to reconcile, but like, how do we do that? You just remember, you see what I'm trying to say? Like
Yeah. No, no.
you've done some, crazy things in the past. But we're also looking back at the past and considering, yeah, that was crazy. How do we fix these things now that we're in now, right?
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with what you're saying. Like, we can learn from the past, but are we learning from our past? We
Well,
all knew that nuclear bombs are crazy. Why are we still just like threatening other nations with them? Why do we have like the alligator prison thing that,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
that looks just like a concentration camp? Bro, what are we doing?
mm-hmm.
We knew that like Trump had a history
Yeah,
and he got voted in.
yeah,
But this is why I'm happy with Canada. Like, I feel like Canada is learning from its past because, like, with Mark Carney in office, we're seeing some changes. Like,
mm-hmm.
the tax cut for us, my paycheck did get, even though it's not a lot more, it's like $15 more, but still, it's
Yeah,
like
I did see
something,
that. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But he said he was going to do that, and then like, he said he's like going to cancel um, the streaming tax that we have, and then he's removing the carbon tax as well. He's like, you're just taxing the regular citizen way too much, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yes, we are learning. Some of us are learning from our past.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's like, will good beat out evil? Because like it seems like Canada is learning from its past, but like America seems to be degrading. So it's like it's just polar opposites.
Yeah, they're in a different situation, right?
Right, right, right. So it's like maybe we can learn from our past.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And maybe we're just watching the growing pains or the deterioration of somebody who's not learning from their past.
Right. Yeah.
Because like Canada and America have cut ties. You're like, dog, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even Mark Carney was like, hey, you want to still work together? We worked together in the past. No, okay, cool. We're going to China now.
Yeah.
Like they're literally building more partnerships with China, and you're like, that's weird. I thought
Right.
China was the enemy, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like maybe he sees something that maybe he's like, hey, it's not propaganda. Like maybe he's being run off of
Facts.
knowledge and not emotion. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah. Sure.
he
Right.
is. This is why like I like his past with like him being like the economist that they called during the 2008 crisis. I'm like, okay, cool. And then he was poached by like the Europeans to help them out. It's like, okay, so he has a
Mm-hmm.
track record, you know? And then
Yeah.
we see more money in our paychecks. We're like, oh, okay. This is making sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. Because my cousin's like in the Philippines, like they're like super anti-China because like China's encroaching on the Philippines, so like, oh,
Sure.
watch out. But then I was like, yeah, but it seems like Canada's like partnering with them, and he's like, I mean, I could see why. Like he was like,
Sure.
like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
get it.
yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
But
like, yeah, we're
you can
feeling the benefits
partner.
from it.
No, yeah, but there's nothing wrong with partnering as well as being vigilant as to what they're doing as well,
Yeah, yeah, totally.
right? Because you're not just gonna you're allying with China, but you also have European allies,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
right?
I
And the
said it
rest of
before,
the
I'll say it
world too.
again.
Yeah, I wouldn't just say European allies. Probably Philippines, India, like
Yeah.
other
No, totally. Yeah,
nations.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I said it before, I'll say it again. I love being Canadian.
Hmm.
It's great, bro. Like it seems like we are on a better trajectory.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. How much time we got left? How long have we
Uh,
been at it?
oh, 1 hour, 5 minutes.
Okay, cool. Two last quick things. Um, so remote viewing. I read the book with Joseph McMoneagle,
Hmm.
and he he basically explained how remote viewing could work, right? And it's like the first half of the book made sense, and then the second half of the book was his predictions, and they just weren't coming true. He's like, by the year 2025, this will happen. By the year 20, I'm like, we're in 2025, and none of that happened. You know what I mean? But like he used like a different method. So like remote viewing is where I have a target and I ask you questions so that you can't subjectively bias the answer, right? But
Hmm.
like with those predictions, he didn't do that. He just like did it for himself. He's like, I'm just gonna predict this stuff, right? So it's a different mechanism of action, okay? And one thing that he said that made sense because like they said that if you know something in the future, your ability to remote view it in the past is a lot better, right? So
Hmm.
like, and what they believe now with quantum computing is you can send information back in time. Not with remote viewing, this is like quantum computing. Like it has the ability to like I don't know how, but like scientists are like, we theorize that we can send information back in time. Okay. So, but our brains work almost like a room temperature quantum computer. And
Hmm.
what he's saying is like, the mind is our ability to move through time. Think about when you create like an object, you see
Hmm.
it and you make it happen, right? Or you think about the past. You think about the past and you're like, okay, that's like your ability to travel through time is through your mind. I can
Right.
jump forward or back.
Sure.
It's just my imagination.
Hmm.
Okay. I said that before in a yoga class. We were like we had like done like a YTC training and like I came out of meditation. I'm like, oh, our mind is the ability to travel through time. That's our time machine. And people thought I was crazy. And I was like, oh yeah, that probably sounded really weird in my head. But like now it makes sense with like remote viewing. Like he said it too. But
Right.
what I'm getting at is this Tenet like is Tenet about quantum computing? Right? Because that's what happened. Like they were sending information back in time.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm like, what the hell does Christopher Nolan know, bro? Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of weird.
Right. He may know
It's
something.
like, right? Or
Mm.
maybe he's just so ahead of it. He like read this Joseph McMoneagle. That'd be a great storyline, you know?
I think, yeah, I mean, he's a good storyteller. That he does use, he tries to use real scientists, like especially for Interstellar,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
With his name Kip, I don't remember his name now, but something like that. The scientist or physicist to help him with the design of the black hole, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I heard this in the UFO podcast that like Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, they are they will kind of disseminate the truth through their films because they have access to all these people. Like they do a lot of research when they do these films.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh
You're
yeah.
right. Like they got the actual black hole scientists and like apparently Close Encounters of the Third Kind or Fifth Kind, whatever, the Steven Spielberg movie. A lot of it was based off of like records that he had read from the
Mm-hmm.
Navy, and then he
Mm-hmm.
just put it into the movie, right?
Right.
So it's like I don't discount movies, bro. Like there's a lot of truth in just like anime. There's a lot of truth in these things. Like
Mm-hmm.
we look at it all as like entertainment, but the best way to educate the masses is through entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of like Bushido philosophy in anime,
Right.
right? Rather than me like
Mm-hmm.
telling you, hey man, Bushido's about benevolence, and you're like, what does that mean, bro? But then like you watch like an anime movie and you're like, I get it,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Right.
like 'cause we're
Yeah. Yeah.
storytelling creatures. Yeah, that was the one thing. And then the last thing is like, how real is that hat from? Because I sent it to you. I don't know if you saw it yet. The Trump 2028.
Oh, you
I was
sent me
like, is this
that
an AI
recently?
video, bro? Yeah, like this morning. I don't know if you saw it yet.
No, I
But
didn't
like
see
he's
it.
like, you guys want to see this? And he like opened up the like painting or whatever, and there's a painting of the Trump 2028 hat. And I was like, this is the storyline of Civil War, bro.
Mm.
Remember like the third term? And then that's why they broke out into Civil War, the movie.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I was like, are we heading into that, guys?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? Final question to you. Do you think America can bounce back from this? I mean, like, obviously, economically, sure, whatever, whatever. Like, yeah, you'll get it. Like, but what's going to happen when Trump's done his office? Like, who's going to run? And
Uh,
what's their
I
platform going to be?
the
You know what I
thing
mean, bro?
is, yeah, I don't know. Because on the Democrat side or on the other side, there's no one that's like sticking out. There's nobody there right now,
That's what I mean, bro.
right? Um,
So is it going to be JD Vance? You know what I mean? They're like, okay, Trump 2.0.
yeah, but I don't think he has the charisma that Trump does to win again. Maybe, but we'll
Right.
see.
So, like, what's happening to America? Like, what is the end game for America?
Hmm.
Is it just downhill? How do you bounce back?
I
We
don't
need
know.
an Obama figure again. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, how do you bounce back from this?
Hmm. Hmm.
You muddied yourself. Drake dropped a new, he's dropping a new album and he did a promotion downtown where like he was driving through the city in like a truck that said um, like Iceman or something is the name of his new album that's going to come out soon. He's doing like a promotional thing. And he dropped a song for it. I listened like 2 seconds. I was like, I can't do this.
Hmm.
Because like his reputation has been so soiled by the Kendrick Lamar thing that I'm like, I can't even take anything you say seriously, bro. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm a kill man's. Wash, I'm coming back. And you're like, are you coming back? I don't know. Like I can't really take, you know what I mean? Like I can't really take you
Sure.
seriously,
Sure.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So it's like that. It's
Hmm.
like it's kind of like the USA thing. I'm like, I can't take you seriously, bro. Like, or do you think
Uh,
maybe they can come back?
I don't know. I mean, I think they can. I think they
Do you
can.
think Drake can? Do you think Drake can come back?
Do you think Drake can come back?
Or do you think his reputation is so soiled that he's just like he's gonna be like Ja Rule? Remember when like the 50 Cent Ja Rule? It's like, dude, what's Ja Rule doing right now? I saw Ja Rule's on tour. I saw like a little reel, but I'm like,
Right.
I'm not clicking the video to watch it. I'm just like, oh, that's cute that he's on tour.
Hmm.
But like,
Well, I think
50
Drake will
Cent
have
destroyed his
his.
career.
Yeah, Drake will have his fan base, and that's that.
You know what I mean? But it's like you're kind of capped now. Like
Hmm.
you've hit the max. Like Ja Rule never came back from that 50 Cent beef,
Hmm.
right? So sometimes like you just can't come back, bro.
Yeah, but I don't just. That's true of an individual person, but I think because there's always different persons who's the president, so we'll see.
Or a better question. When America took over as the superpower after World War II, it wasn't like a boom. Like
Hmm.
Britain or like the UK, whatever it was, Britain, UK, whatever, who was the superpower at the time, it wasn't like it was like do you go out with a bang or a whimper?
Hmm.
Britain went out with a whimper. It's like we didn't really notice.
Sure.
So I'm wondering,
Yeah.
is it like that? Is it another one of those scenarios where it's like you didn't really notice that America went down? Or
Hmm.
maybe it's already down and we're all like arguing over stupidness because like dude, they're done.
Right.
You know?
Hmm.
Wait, what do you think?
Uh,
Like, do you like three options? Do you think they can come back? Do you think they'll go out with a bang, or do you think they'll go out with a whimper?
they'll come back.
Really? Is that your bias though? Because you like America?
Yeah, I'm a biased person.
Feel like it's gonna be a whimper.
Sure.
I feel like we're just gonna be like, oh, Asia's making a lot more moves
Mm-hmm.
economically. Like so many bubble tea stores and Chinese food, you know? It'll be like that. Like it's a whimper. It's like,
Right.
oh, so many my clothes are made in China again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like owning economically, but like they're not like in your face about it.
Right.
That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
But, who knows? I could be wrong and they just come back. Superman's gonna return and then America will become
Yeah, his movie's coming out this week.
oh, this week? Oh damn, all right, true. But you know why Superman was so great?
Why?
Because he was like an ultimate weapon. And you need to rule with a big stick, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If
Sure.
Superman was weak, we'd be like, super who?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. It's funny because he's America's number one hero, but he's
That's
also
what I'm saying.
he's an illegal
He's an
immigrant.
alien. That's true. That's true.
America's number one
Yeah,
hero is an illegal immigrant.
but like he is an illegal immigrant. You're right. He is an illegal immigrant. But you see the thing where he's like, we should reevaluate Elon's citizenship or something.
Oh right, yeah.
Dog, we're getting crazy. What are you guys saying right now? Weird. All right,
Who had
anyways,
that clash was gonna happen?
who knew that clash was gonna happen or what?
No. Like who? Yeah. Basically, who knew that was gonna happen
No, dude, I did not. That's crazy.
less than 6 months?
But why? Why did that happen though? Like I get there's stuff that happened like behind the scenes, but like,
Maybe
damn,
he
that was a
really was.
180.
Maybe Elon
It's 'cause
really wanted
yeah,
believed in the budget cuts and things like that. He wanted to actually save America. Maybe.
right. Because remember we were like, is Elon Musk the Lex Luthor? Remember
Mm-hmm.
we went through that?
Yeah.
Maybe he saw all the stuff online. He's like, damn, am I becoming Lex Luthor? And he's like, no. I gotta go back to it.
But he backed the wrong. I think he backed the wrong person. That's he thought he could control him. He like you know what I mean, like where
Yeah, he did think he could control
he
him.
thought so. I think so.
They
And
they did all say that. Remember, he's like, oh, he's the puppet, like the real president. Remember, even his child was like, you're not the real president. My daddy's the real president. And you're like, dog, what? Maybe he did think he could control him.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
so, but it didn't work.
Wait, all right, so sorry, last thing. Did you see the thing about the bill that got passed? Is that actually about, because they're all saying
Yeah.
like, so it's really gonna hurt the like lower paid people
Yeah, I mean they're
or like
talking
the
about
middle
the
class?
healthcare cuts,
I don't know what it is. I just saw
tax
like this is the
cuts.
worst thing.
Yeah, I don't know the full thing, but all I know is the tax cuts and there's the budget increase, which is what Elon didn't want,
What's the what
and
budget increase?
like more like now more like $5 trillion in debt or whatever it was, something like it's
Oh,
going to
getting
increase.
more debt?
Yeah, he's going to increase the debt based on these budget cuts and tax cuts, and then removing money from people's health care.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. Damn.
Hmm.
And they just let that happen.
Well, Republicans have the House and Republicans have the Senate.
This is what I mean, bro. It's the downfall.
Mm-hmm.
So one of these reporters, like this kid who like talks about this stuff a lot. He was saying that could this be the nail in the final coffin of America? Because now all your citizens are just straight poor.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. Anyways, all right. Till next week. I was like, so Superman. Look, the Superman movie's coming out this week. That's something to look forward to. Maybe Superman will come and save the day,
We'll
and
see. I
America will
don't
come
know.
back on top. Yeah. All right. Till
But
next.
we got a
Hey,
long
dog.
way to go with Trump. This is not even 1 year yet.
That's dog. That's what I was saying. It's like, look, it's not even 6 months, bro. We still wait. Hold on. Going back to it. Remember when I was like, "Do you think it'll last the 4 years?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm sure he will." I'm like, "Dog, this is 6 months in. What are we doing?
Sure.
Like, what is 4 years gonna look like?"
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
6 months in.
I'm interested to see in 2 years because that's where the House could change
Ooh.
and Senate could change.
But could
See
you
how they.
imagine if like it just becomes a total totalitarian state or like government
Mm-hmm. That's what
and
he's trying
like
to do. I think as much as he can in this 2 years. If it does switch back to Democrats, and after 2 years, then he can't really do too much to pass in the
Right.
House
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Senate.
Right.
So he's got 2 years of full power, at least.
And it's only been 6 months, dude. And it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already talking like Kim Jong-un, bro. Like,
Not just that, yeah, he's calling himself king.
I know, right? Yo.
He's having fun with it. The way I look at it, I really don't think he's going to do a third term, but
but like, that's great. Like, yo, you're just mocking your people now. Like,
no, his people love it. His people love it. His
But what does that say about
base
those
loves
people?
it. I know, but his base loves it.
Okay, there's a person, Anna Paluna something. She really big, and you know who she is?
No.
Anna Paluna. She's really big into the UFO stuff. Like, she was at the congressional hearing, and like I follow her on X and Instagram, and she posted this thing where it's like her on a throne in a military uniform, and like she has a gun, and she said celebrating No King's Day. But before, she was like pro Trump, because she's like, oh, Trump's gonna release the UFO files, so she's like for it. And then when she said like no kings, I'm like, that's weird. Like, are you against them? I think she's Republican too, so it's like, ooh, there's like dissent within even your base, bro. Like you said, like his base loves it, but it's like his emotional fan base is like racist fan base loves it, you know.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
actual party, it seems like there's division. Anyways, all right, Superman, come down next week.
Yeah.
Save us all. Till next week, Tasty Fish. Yeah, maybe. All right, till next week, Tasty Fish.
Yeah. Peace.
All right, hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors, Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Fish.
Peace.